Okay, so this video is going to be a little different. First of all, I'm outside because it's nice and sunny, and Kevin likes the sun. Don't you, Kevin? Secondly, instead of like blindly reacting to the patch notes like I usually do, I'm going to be like I've already read them, and now I'm just going to be giving my initial thoughts so we don't end up with another 30-minute patch notes video of me just blindingly reading through it and getting confused and just saying, Ludio, what the hell are you doing? Now I can just skip to the important parts. Also, sorry if I'm a little quieter because it's like I'm outdoors. I'm gonna be a lot quieter than usual. Okay, let's just get in with the new creatures. First of all, we got Ghost. Okay, so funny thing, Quetzalcoatlus right now is just going on a tangent about how he hates battle exclusives because he thinks they're worse than event exclusives. And honestly, he's not wrong. It's like you have like a small chance of getting an epic incubator that has it, and when it does open up, you only get like 30 DNA. So I can definitely see where he's coming from, especially since you have to get to Arena 10. So then some people may not even have a chance. So I guess it is another, like Ludi is just finding just at this point trying to explore new ways to make sure. Okay, people are sick of event exclusives, so let's make them still exclusive, but not event exclusive. Just coming up with new ways. Just release something into the wild. And I don't mean like Microraptor, where it's going to be a specific zone creature. Like, actually throw it so it spawns all day, all the time, like T-Rex or Carbonemies. Because I recently just yesterday, I darted a T-Rex, and I darted a Carbonemies. No problem. So that's why I'm still excited for Indonemies. As for Ghost abilities, no stats yet, so again, I'm just judging based on purely abilities, and honestly, I like it. I like the sound of this. I like the sound of Cautious Strike. You can just go for... I just really like this combination. I like how they're really going back to the whole dual attributes. Hopefully we can get eventually, we can get a Stegosaur with Distraction again. Beta. Honestly, not too fussed about Beta, because, like, most of the time, I just keep forgetting Beta exists because she didn't really do much in the movie. Enough about my opinions on Beta. Like, it's like Beta's basic. I thought Beta was going to be, like, marketed as, like, oh, she's going to be plastered in the whole movie because she's the new Blue. We have to sell the new baby dinosaur because Bumpy was really successful. So, what if we take Blue and made her a baby? So, yeah. But they didn't do that. They actually restrained from forcing her into the movie, and I'm actually quite happy with that. Oh, Beta actually is Beta cool? Because I don't know if Blue has these little spots. Also, I just like the fact that Beta actually has like their Blue model. If I can just use the right colors. No, that's the wrong color. He has the blue stripe all the way to the eye, which is incorrect. But Beta actually does have that attention to detail, which is just, I find that funny. In fact, another thing I find funny. Beta is actually if Beta is an exact clone of her mother, shouldn't she have an ability more akin to her mother, or basically her mother should get a rework to be closer, just as strong as Beta, because Beta actually seems better, especially. But it's like these abilities, they're not that great. I mean, this is okay. Don't trust that superiority ability. It's not a deceleration. It's a distraction. It's a dodge, distract, speed up. So that's a lie. But then that's also that's basically a better pounce, even though it does have a cooldown of 2. But then this move right here, it's basically you swap in dodge and distract, which is really good. So Beta is better than her mama. Unless, of course, her stats are, like, a lot worse. It just depends. Next up, we have Microraptor, which is the one... Actually, I'm second most excited for, because, again, I'm a huge Ghost fan. Like, this one is just two things I'm really excited for. Ghost, because, as I mentioned, I love the multi-segment, and Ghost is just probably my favorite Pterosaur. And Microraptor is just one of my favorite dinosaurs, period. Even if they have reconstructed it to look more like a bird, but I still love it. And I also really like its abilities here. A double strike and a triple strike, which sounds really cool. Best part about this update is that we finally have the Microraptor. The Microraptor hybrid is not, like repeat, not a flock hybrid. It is a fairy hybrid, which is, honestly, I was still a little baffled that we have Segnoraptor, like, and there's no Segnosaurus. It's Therizinosaurus. But still, the fact that we're finally getting a flock hybrid that isn't forced to become like, what's the word? Another flock, like how Dreadactylus, that was forced to become another Pterosaur hybrid. That wasn't fun. Like we could have had like we could have had Prionodactylus head on top of a sauropod, which I guess would just be discount Geminid Titan, but still would have liked that a lot better than just I don't know, basically another fat pterosaur, a fat tiny pterosaur. It's just not fun. These abilities right here to combine together. You go for Ferocious Cunning Strike, you boost your damage, and then you go for 3 times the attack in the next turn. That's like devastation. So even though it's been a while since we just had a basic creature that could be really good. So I'm really happy with this. And then it's ruined by adding another flock. Hooray! Every update it's just a requirement at this point. Every update has to include some sort of flock hybrid. If it's not the new flock, then it's going to be an old flock. I mean, yeah, we finally have a super hybrid flock. Actually, no, we already had a mega. We already had that. The ultra hybrid. It's very windy now. Kazankylodactylus. That was the hybrid flock. Anyway, obviously this is the strongest of the bunch because look at this. Just look at all this. Basically, it's a flock, and it basically has Beta's ability. Except now they added a rally heal to it. It has all the best abilities of like Comps Tarbognethus. Adds a Rampage Run, and then this ability as well. And that's obviously a really good ability. So this is going to be one of the strongest. Unfortunately, it's another unique made with an event exclusive epic, and it's a flock. So, not even bothered to get it. You, on the other hand, well, then I say I want to get you, but you're a raid, and raids are a pain nowadays. So I'm probably not going to bother getting you, even though you're like, finally, a good pterosaur. Finally. And I don't want it because it's like, it's a raid. Why couldn't you have been a hybrid? Even though I know, like, people don't like fusible apexes. But I do, because they're a lot easier. I can level up an apex much faster if it's a hybrid than I can if it's a raid. Because raids take way more time and effort than hybrids. The abilities are a bit out of order here. Basically, it's got, like, all the abilities right here. Robbing Wing, which is basic. Okay, let's see if I can explain all these. This one's basically a counterattack where it accelerates itself, gets a shield, breaks the shield, and decelerates the enemy, which honestly sounds really cool. Then you have Total Immunity on Escape, which is basically a shield and dodge, followed by just basically resistant to all immunity, everything. Basically like Dimetrodon used to be. Now the question is, does this also include the Rend? If it also resists Rend, then that's just insane. Because it could basically just... You could come in with Phororex while this thing has this thing on, and it'll just completely ignore it. Actually, no, you can't. Phororex doesn't have that anymore, I forgot. And then you have, like, what's this ability? This is basically a Group Cleansing Nullify. At least I think that's... No. Group Cleanse, remove Dodge and Cloak, and then deal damage. And then to everything, which is good for flocks and it's good for raids. So really good ability right there. Definite Strike, good to see that ability again. Merciless Alert, which is an okay ability. I've used it a couple. It's not like the best ability, but it's okay. Like it's like a pretty weak armor piercing It's like an armor piercing impact with a weak bleed at first, and then it switches to like basically a lethal striking swoop. And then Alert Squall, which is basically Prehistoric Being's Intimidation ability, which was basically, it basically forces the enemy to swap. At least that's what I assume. That's how it was worded. They haven't really specified just yet. I assume it's doing that, so it'll trigger. It's forced to trigger its total immunity on escape. But it's possible. It's just trying. It's maybe it was worded wrong. It just meant lowest HP teammate, and that's why it's like it's gonna focus on itself, not the enemy. But that would be really cool if it was the case. So, least excited for Compsoraptor, because I'm never going to get it, and when other people get it, it's going to be a pain to deal with in the arena. And most excited for pretty much Microraptor and Ghost, and actually Segnoraptor as well. Basically everything to do with Beta, not too fussed. Even though, Beta's okay. I don't hate Beta or anything. It's just that I'm not really too bothered about her. Another fun thing, Therizinosaurus actually has a raid. It's a raid exclusive now, which I have no complaints about. That's a good thing. And Hydroslux is being moved to, what is that, Saturday raids? That's okay. And Tyrannochire will be the new Tuesday raid.
Still not too fussed about Tyrannosaurus, but Therizinosaurus, like, rare raids are really easy. So, honestly, really happy to see Therizinosaurus. Also, they mentioned Alert Berserk Scramble, but I have no idea what that is. There are no abilities called Alert Scramble that I'm aware of. Oh, this is the good stuff. This is the stuff that people really should get excited about. This is the best part of the update, really. So first of all, Tragodistus is getting a long-awaited buff. I still think it needs a stat buff, but basically they've made it so he's sorry, I keep pressing the wrong buttons. Basically, group superior vulnerability, so it cleanses its distraction for itself, and then it hits all the enemies, which is great. Then you have group decelerating impact, which is just, it's good. Medium counterattack, and shelter. Actually, it's going to become super speedy. This thing's going to be pretty much a beast, actually. Ooh, which is really exciting, because Tragodistus was always one of my favorites back in the day, before they completely butchered it and nerfed it along with Stegodeuce. This was basically back in the day, it was Stegodeuce and Tragodistus. They were the kings, but then they got completely butchered and nerfed, and they were never used again. So I would be very much excited to see Tragodistus get a buff. Utarinex is basically the strongest creature in the game now. Like, out of everyone here, it got the most love and attention. Distracting Impact and Run becomes... Distracting Impact becomes Distracting Impact and Run, which is the same ability, except now there's a delay and a cooldown of 1. Which is... and then also Rampage and Run becomes Stunning Rampage and Run. This is made up for by the fact that it has Instant Charge becomes Stunning Strike, which is basically Instant Charge, except now instead of a delay 1, cooldown 2, it's a cooldown of 3, no delay. You can use it right off the bat. So then a priority stun right off the bat, that's actually really good. Unless, of course, you have a stun resistance, then it's pretty much a downgrade. But the best part is now, this thing has Swap and Resilient Strike, and considering Utarinex is a pretty high damage creature, that's insane. It means Utarinex is basically going to be on par with Parasithops and Alberto Savia. This thing's going to be a mad lad in the arena. Everyone's going to hate this thing now. You swap in, this ability activates, then you go for that ability, then you go for you have a choice between this or this. Whichever you choose, then you can choose the other ability afterwards and get out of there. It's so good now. It's going to be the strongest thing. Beaver's just going to be so happy with this update. Unfortunately, I can't say the same for Trico. It got the second shortest end of the stick here. All it got was Fierce Devouring Cleanse, which is a very weak healing ability, and then it just got minor stat buff. So, poor Trico, still not good. You poor thing. Then we jump back to another good one. Dilorachirus got a really good upgrade. Attack, really good. Basically, these are all good stat increases. It already had pretty solid stats to begin with. Don't know why we decided to go for a 70, though. Oh, well. Lesser Group Heal becomes Accelerated Team Heal, which is basically Lesser Group Heal with an acceleration added. And then Greater Emergency Heal becomes basically Distracting Team Heal. This is really good. It's basically a group Greater Emergency Heal with a distraction attached to it. It basically distracts whoever we're going up against. So this thing, also Darting Counter, which is basically maximal speed up counter. Basically, I think it's increases its speed by a little bit, and then it deals damage to the enemy, which is very good. This thing has a counterattack now, and this thing does 1600 damage. Dilorachirus is going to be mean to deal with. I still wish they tapped its resistances a little more, gave it a distraction resistance, gave it a deceleration resistance, but honestly, for what we got so far, these abilities, I'm actually going to make Dilorachirus my main raiding creature, because I don't have a good one. The closest I have is Gemini Titan, and that one's not that great. So if I focus my attention on Dilorachirus, then I could have a creature that could be useful for raid strategies. Really can't wait to see how this guy fits into the meta now. Tenontorex got the shortest end of the stick, because they replaced its Distracting Impact with Distracting Devour Impact, which is basically the same ability, except it has a Devour attached, and the cooldown is now 3. So Tenontorex is kind of getting an indirect nerf from this, I would say. So, poor thing, boohoo Tenontorex. So yeah, really excited for the Dilorachirus buff, and for the Utarinex and the Tragodistus buffs. Can't wait to test them out and see how well they are. Oh yeah, creature rotations, basically, it's what you expect. It's Scutosaurus is now in the wild. Forever, it's just so sad because the last update they did so well. They added Therizinosaurus and Giga as event exclusives, but they also released Zungaripterus and Antarctica Pelta into the wild to balance it out. But this one, they just said, oh, Scutosaurus is exclusive, so now it's in the wild. We added Ghost, but it's like, for every exclusive they release into the wild, they add 2 more to the exclusive wall, and that's not really cool. But I don't want to complain too much, because it's like, actually new achievements. Let's see these for a second, because I think there's something interesting. Have 10 skins in your collection, but there's only 4. And the fact that they're having this achievement now, because there was a leak saying there was an Indotaurus skin coming, but there's like no other skin, there's no skins listed here whatsoever. So it makes me wonder, are there new skins this update? And they just haven't told us, and they're just adding a plethora of them? Or are we going to have to wait till next update, and this thing just cannot be done until the next update? We will never know. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Who are you most excited for? Are you excited for the Tragodistus buff, the Utarinex buff, the Diloriterus buff, maybe the Trico buff even? Or are you just excited for the new creatures? I'm mostly excited for Ghost, because obvious reasons. But that's where I'm going to end the video. I think Kevin's had enough time in the sun. We're just going to go inside and let him run around and probably poop on my floor. That's what Kevin likes to do. He nearly pooped on my laptop yesterday. Okay, bye.